Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? I received this very interesting email from a community member, and I like the way she thinks. And it really describes how we, the people, are looked at by the, I guess you want to say, the higher ups, the 1%, the elitist, okay? And this is how she started out. She said, this morning I was thinking about all the illegal immigration all over the world. She said, have you ever heard about how you take a shovel of ants from one mound and put them on another mound? She said, the ants end up fighting and killing each other. She said, I believe the 1% elites are facilitating moving the ants or people around so that we fight and kill each other. She said, if you think about the recent natural disasters, she said, you flood an anthill, right? You wash away all the ants and you have a land free of ants, right? Drop a cherry bomb or firecrackers into an anthill, what happens? You blow up all the ants. The 1% are shaking the ant farm. The ant farm gets smaller, and then what happens? All you have left are the surviving worker ants that work mindlessly for them, for the 1%, again, until they decide to shake the ant farm once again. She said this will not stop until the ants start to realize that they need to go after the ones that are shaking the ant farm. She said, there are way more ants than there are of 1%ers. Ants want to be left to their own communities or lands to work and thrive. She said, we could learn a lot from them. The elites already know this. That's why they're messing with us. And this is why me and another community member are doing a lot of research on the seeding, the weather modification and stuff like that. And I want you guys to just bear with me and her, because what we are finding is unbelievable. And, there's none of this, what is happening in all of these different states, is by accident. I'll just say that. None of it is by accident. And it's like the other day, I was sitting here and I was doing research and on, the weather modification and stuff like that. And it was like 2-3 days ago, and I happened to come upon a video where it was snowing in, I can't remember what state it was. And I'm like, we're in July, man. What? Okay. No matter where you are in this country, it's hot right now. What do you mean it's snowing? And it wasn't like a heavy hailstorm or something like that. It was literal snow. And I'm like, okay. Something's going on. Something has got to give, okay? Now, she sent me, the community member that I'm working along with, she sent me 2 videos that I'm going to be sharing with you today. And one of them, the first one that I'm going to show you, is about a bunch of volcanoes that are currently erupting right now. She said, so we now have flooding, tornadoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, and now volcanic eruptions. And like I said, snow like 2-3 days ago, and I'm like, snow. Now, when I was looking at all of those forms that were filled out by those weather modification people, because you have to have a permit in order to do this. I did see weather modification permits being pulled for snow and for hail, and I'm like, yes, but we're in July. But with these people, it does not matter. They want to create so much chaos and so much mayhem. It's unbelievable. And I don't care if it's for scientific reasons or not. This is not something that you don't mess with Mother Nature, man. Okay? This is just, it's just not. I mean, I realize it's been going on for quite a long time, but this is some very scary stuff. So watch this very first video, okay, is about the volcanic eruptions, okay? And then I'm going to show you another video, okay? So hang on.
A new volcanic eruption has begun on Iceland's Sundanuxgigaröd crater row. At around 3:56 local time, lava broke through the surface southeast of Litla Skogfell, following hours of intense seismic activity. The eruptive fissure is now over 700 meters long and continues to grow northward. Lava is flowing southeast, away from populated areas. No infrastructure is currently under threat. Civil Protection activated emergency response as seismic data confirmed a southward moving dike intrusion hours earlier. The ground began shaking just after 1 a.m., with earthquakes clustered between Stora Skogfell and Sýlingarfell at depths of 4 to 6 kilometers. By dawn, a plume of volcanic gas had started drifting toward nearby towns including Reykjanesbær, Vogar, Sandgerði, and Gard, carried by strong southeasterly winds. Authorities are closely monitoring gas dispersion and lava movement. The eruption is ongoing, and further updates will follow as the situation develops.
Okay, so this video, she said, this is from 2024, she said, but it shows that the weather has been off for quite some time. And she's right. Like I said, this has been going on for quite some time. But it's something that you really have to, like, I would have never even thought that I would be digging into this the way that I am. But I am. And I'm going to have another video coming out shortly about what else we've been finding. And I mean, I now have apps on my phone, you know, it's because I want to see what's going on different parts of this country at any given time, because I want to say, why is it snowing there? Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? You know what I mean? When we're in July, we should not have snow right now, you know? So, but anyway, here's this video. Like I said, it's from 2024, but it just goes to show that even last year, okay, and I'm sure I'll be finding videos from maybe even a decade ago, that these weather anomalies, they're not normal, okay? So here you go. Here's this video, and I will see you guys in the next one, okay? You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less and God bless. Ciao.
I'm sorry, but the New York earthquake is about to get a lot bigger. And just real quick, we'll go over some things you probably have heard already, and then we'll go over the scary things you haven't heard. Yesterday, I just shared how lightning hit the hand of Apollo. I mean, Statue of Liberty. And I mean, the hand, the torch. So then we had this 4.8 earthquake. Well, the eclipse is 4.8. And 2 hours later, Brazil had a 4.8 earthquake. Of course, 4.8. Before we go any further, it's all speculation, this is all alleged, it's all my opinion. I also just showed you last week this trail of earthquakes going up the eclipse route. Well, where the eclipse hit was called White House Station, and our earthquake map is off the charts right now. I just showed you in this video that in the last 3 days, Japan and Taiwan both had big earthquakes. Now this right here is the scary part to me. This made me reevaluate and relook into the earthquake map. The central mid-Atlantic ridge has had about 10 earthquakes in the last 3 or 4 days. Why does that matter? There have been thousands and thousands of people that had a dream that all of the east coast of New York were underwater. This light blue line is the mid-Atlantic ridge. Now with really big earthquakes, you'll usually have smaller earthquakes that lead up to them. What would happen if there's a major plate shift in the mid-Atlantic ridge? Maybe things going underwater? I mean, we've literally had like 50,000 earthquakes over the last month. I forget the exact number. And the Earth's frequency has been off the charts. Not to mention 5 incredibly strong storm paths going right along that line I showed you. Now let me take you back to 1811, which was when they had a total solar eclipse, and then 3 months later, for 4 months straight, they had massive earthquakes all around America. But the widely available illustrations we have of this 1811-1812 earthquake literally show things coming from the sky. That's weird. If you haven't by now, you'll eventually find that everything works in perfect patterns, numbers, letters, frequencies, things happening in the atmosphere. This map is really starting to look plausible, isn't it? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments.